Oi, you know what time it is? You're tuned in listening to Dry That Aussie Metal Guy. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of his content when it drops. And remember, stay brutal, you mad dogs. Roof.
There we go. G'day, how you all going? It's Dry That Aussie Metal Guy here with Crank.com. So today, tonight, this morning, wherever you are in the world, it's a great pleasure that we get to have a chat with Darren Daz Brookes, guitarist and founding member of the legendary British death metal band Benediction. He has been a driving force behind the group's relentless sound since their inception in 1989, with an upcoming ninth studio album, Ravage of Empires, is set to release in just a few short days, April 4th. Via Nuclear Blast Records, Benediction is poised once again to dominate the death metal scene. Ravage of Empires definitely delivers a bone-crushing blend of riffs, hammering grooves, and unrelenting aggression. Darren, thank you so much for joining me again. I did get to chat with you with the Scriptures album, which I'm still hammering the hell out of, so I was really, really happy to see when you guys were bringing this out, so thank you for joining me.
No worries, man. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
No worries. How's the whole process been and the songwriting process for this one coming out of Scriptures? Because I know that was a bit of a turbulent, weird fucking time, but things have settled down a bit. Tell me a little bit about the songwriting process for this one.
Well, it don't really settle down too much for us, really, because with Dave being in Copenhagen and Gio being in Italy and Nick being in fucking London, it's almost impossible. But we've got the writing down to a fine art now. As in the old days, we'd just have a microphone in a room. And then I'd take the recording home on a cassette and try and figure out what the fuck we were playing, because it was just a wall of noise. It's a bit better now. Rui's not a good songwriter, but he's a fantastic riff writer. So he puts his drum machine on and he just cranks out riff after riff after riff, and he emails them to me, and then I'll just open it up, pick the best ones out of it, mix them in my riffs, and then he sends ingredients. We bake a cake, and then we send it over to Dave. Dave puts the icing on it. Then he sends it back to me, and then I chop it, change it, make it longer, make it shorter, whatever it needs, and then we send it to the two boys, and then they just do their bit. It's it sounds complicated, but it's not, because I can just lock myself away in a room and figure out what's turning me on and what's not turning me on, and if it's not ripping my face off, I don't want to know.
Do you find that's a bit easier, like for the songwriting process for you guys being all over the place and going, look, we're ready to work. You can kind of lay down riffs wherever you're at, or drum beats, and work on some vocals.
Yeah, because it's me and Rui that write all the songs anyway. I think it's kind of easy. I mean, we still live over an hour away, so it's all done on computer. But Rui, like I said, Rui will just sit there with his headphones on and put a drum beat on and just play for fucking hours to the same drum beat. That would drive me mental. But he'll just come up with riff after riff, and a lot of it's crap. But then you'll get these little nuggets. I'm shaking a tray, pulling these little nuggets out, and they blow me away, man. Some of the riffs he comes up with are incredible. And then, like I say, I just put it with some of the riffs that I've got, and we kind of come up with this Benediction music that I believe only we play. Every other death metal band sounds kind of the same. I'm not going to slag people off, but it just sounds kind of the same. Well, I think we're a little bit different, and I kind of enjoy that. There's pressure on us to write music, but it's kind of easy because we just do what we do. We don't follow any paths necessary. Don't put blast beats on it because you're supposed to put blast beats on it. Don't put keyboards on because you're supposed to put keyboards on. Fuck you, man.
Yeah, well, I listen to a lot of albums, but for some reason that Scriptures album has been one I've come back to for death metal. It just kind of stuck with me, the groove and the riffs you guys have. And with
that's important, man. You got to stand out. If you don't, you're just going to sound the same as everybody else. And at the end of the day, it's us that have got to stand up on stage and play the fucking stuff every night. I don't want to be playing the same boring shit. I want something that picks me up and slows me down and throws me around a little bit.
Yeah, and you've always, done that, stuck true to your old school death metal roots, but kind of done your own thing, but kind of built on that as well. But especially with
that's because we're lazy.
Yeah, but with the last few albums, it just is absolutely unreal. Like, you can feel that you're kind of really still pushing the bar. You're just not happy to kind of stick with that.
Do you know what, man? I'm 56 years old now. Rui's 57, but we still act like kids. We still get the same feeling when, a promoter comes up and says, do you want to fly down to this country or that country? I'm a lucky boy, man. We're all lucky boys, so we take each day as the last, so I'm fucking loving life, man.
Yeah, you start getting to our age, and you start like appreciating the things that you've done in your life,
Absolutely,
and it
mate.
kind of get a little bit more motivated. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sick of sitting backstage with people. I won't name names, but we always go out and mix with the crowd. Whenever we play a gig, we always go out and mix. I hate all this meet and greet bullshit. That people pay extra to get your autograph. Fuck that. I like to go out and meet people, but I've been backstage with people, and I'm like, you're going to come out and meet the punters, and they're like, nah, man, I'll just sit back here. It's like, fucking asshole. You know what I mean? They're the reason you're doing this. They're the reason that you're on the stage in the first place. Go talk to the fuckers, man.
And that's the best place to be as well, getting out there by the merch stand, catching up with the fans as they come in, because you're building those connections. And for you guys, it's not only about meeting the lifelong fans, it's meeting these kids that are coming through now and going, fuck, you guys are blowing me away.
Of course it is. I mean, I was the loner at school. I was the kid that was picked on, bullied because I had long hair, you know what I mean? And heavy metal was my shield, So to talk to young people that are doing the same thing, and believing the same thing, I think it's fucking massively important.
Yeah, and then these days it's kind of, you can discover these albums that you're bringing out and then going back and checking out the whole bloody collection and then being blown away. It doesn't matter whatever point you come in and find Benediction.
Yeah, that's also the good thing about Benediction. Like I was talking about bands all sounding the same. If you go into a bar and they're playing Benediction, even if you don't know that particular song, it's us.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? I kind of like that. We never followed past. We never did what we were told. We just did. And I think I don't know if it's because we're lazy or we're stupid or what, but we don't know how to do anything else. So, and I'm super chuffed with it, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, and that opening track of Carrying Harvest just kind of kicks off straight away with an explosive energy. Tell me about that opening track there.
Well, whenever we record, we don't know which track's going to open until we've recorded it. But as soon as we recorded that one, Scott, the producer, said, "You need to open with that. Brace for impact. Go for the first line." I mean, that says it all about the album. But yeah, we never know. We tend not to write albums with 4 or 5 good tracks and then 5 album fillers. Yep. We want all 10, 11 tracks to be super cool. I mean, I have a different favorite every week. Same with the rest of the band. We have a different favorite every week. And I think that tells you how strong the songs are, standalone songs. But yeah, Carry On Harvest, that first line, you got to start the album with that. And that's the track we're opening the gigs with.
Yeah, there's got a few of these tracks you could kick off with. The finality of Perpetuation. I just loved the kickoff, and Dave's like, fucking crank it up, let's go, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
instantly,
absolutely.
If you ain't banging your head even sitting at home listening to that, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, eh?
It's right, mate, and that's how we write songs. When we write songs, we kind of visualize them. I know it's kind of weird, but we imagine what the song would look like live. What the riff's going to do to you. He's going to pick people up, but people are going to start doing a pit on this one, and they're going to start jumping around on this one. So we kind of visualize the riffs and the vocals. So it's kind of cool. It's come out really well, man. We're dead chuffed.
Yeah, well, I love whole albums. I've only had a couple of days to kind of really digest this one, but I'm the same. Like, each time I listen to a whole album, that's why I love listening to whole albums. It's my generation, born 1980. Was still probably last generation that went and bought albums, but it's good metal kids are still buying vinyls. Which
kids don't do it now, do they?
Yeah, the vinyls are coming back, but they don't.
Yes, mate. Yes, mate. But I love it. I used to love going to the shop and buying my Iron Maiden album, or whatever else, and then taking it home, getting out the cellophane and reading it all the way home on the bus. You know what I mean? The 40-minute journey, just looking at the artwork and reading the thanks list, and even just putting the record on, then flipping it over, the actual doing it. It's all part of it, man. Kids now, they just get the phones and they listen to 10 seconds and in the bin, 10 seconds. Fucking hell, man. They don't get a chance to digest it. They don't get the right to earn listening to the music.
Oh, and the joy, discovering the joy of listening, do you know what I mean? Getting home that first time and getting a metal album, you've just heard one song
straight up to your bedroom.
Straight up to your bedroom, and you're playing it over and over and over again, and then you're fully...
Your mum's banging on the floor, tea's ready, not yet.
I know, and then you're fully able to digest albums, and that's why I love listening to whole albums and doing what I'm doing. Because when I chucked in this Ravage of Empires album, I was blown away by the different moments and the thought you guys are obviously putting into creating this whole album. You know what I mean? Not just an album of one track here and catering to that generation.
Like I say, it's got to pick you up, but it's got to slow you down. A fast riff sounds better next to a slow riff. Yeah. And vice versa. You've got to have one extreme to the other, and I kind of think we nailed it. I hope so, anyway.
Definitely. With the creative process, were there any themes you guys, overarching themes you're working towards this, or you were
No,
just
I don't think we're that clever. I don't think we're that clever. To be fair, we look at music as just entertainment. You know, it's just an entertainment, and we're in it for the fun. We don't take ourselves too seriously. We don't wear a makeup and get ourselves ready backstage. We go on with whatever clothes we were fucking wearing when we get off the bus. You know, we got no airs, no graces. So it's kind of the same with our music. We don't go too deep. Dave's got his things with his vocals, but again, it's never too deep. It's more about the live show. It's more about what it feels like to play it and what it feels like to listen to it. You know, it's more about that than we don't want people to go reading in the lyrics and discovering what the fuck this is and what the fuck that is. I'm way past that shit.
Yeah, well, Dave's got this delivery as well on vocals where he is heavy as hell but clear, and this album you can hear what he's singing and it punches through it all as well. So, you know, he's always done a great job of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super intentional. Again, you know, I play festivals all over the world, and you know, the 3 bands before us and 2 bands after us, they all sound the same pace. Can't hear what the vocalist's saying. It all gets a bit repetitive. As good or as bad as you think it is, it just gets repetitive. So it's important for us that the riffs cut through, you know, the kick drums and the picking on the guitars has to be cock on, you know, that the vocal has to be powerful, but you have to understand what he's saying, you know, because that's what kids do. They pick up on little hooks. You know, there'll be a line, you know, crank it up. The kids will all say that. As soon as you play that line, they'll say that. You know, all that's important, man. It's got to be clear, but it's got to be powerful.
Yeah, there were definitely a few songs like that. A Genesis Chamber was another one. That one kind of stuck with me as well. I've only had a few days to kind of to pick through it, but that one kind of stuck out to me as well. Tell us about that track.
Yeah, I love that one. Again, that's something to do with fucking Dave and his Doctor Who stuff. I don't know what the fuck that's about. Okay. But yeah, that's but that track. I love the intro to that track. That was just Rui fucking around this little scale. I was like, just keep playing that, keep playing that. Yeah, man, it's cool.
Yeah, and that's one thing you mentioned before, because he's heavy as fuck, but just have these hooks in there and they do punch and they kind of stick with you. I myself, as a fan of death metal, find myself long after listening to you guys, like in my head, bouncing away to it. And a lot of people
exactly what it's meant to. It's meant to do that. You know, it's got to have some kind of lasting effect. It's got to be different. Fortunately for us, Benediction is different. Yeah. You know, so you know, we don't have to try too difficult to do it, but. You know, if there's a couple of riffs, I still do it. I mean, that sounds a bit arrogant, but I'm driving along in the car sometimes and I start humming a riff and I'm like, hang on a bit, that's us. You know, we're just fucking really ridiculous, but you know, it's got to have hooks, man. It's got to be memorable. If you come away from a festival and you've seen fucking 40 bands, you know, you want something that sticks out, something that's going to remind you. So hopefully some of these riffs just grab you by the bollocks and the pain makes you not forget.
That's it, and you're going to get a chance to go play a whole bunch of these riffs, you know what I mean? You got the Tales of the Triple Death with Jungle Rot and Master as well. That's kicking off in a couple of days for the launch of the album as well. Yeah. How do you go picking out tracks off of this album? Because you're obviously going to want to, you could just about play any one of these, and
well, exactly,
for obvious reasons.
Yeah, well, that's exactly the point. So I think we've got 6 or 7 off the album. And we've got a slot for, I'm not sure it's 3 or 4. So we'll open with Carrion Harvest. We've got to do Engines and Crawling because of the videos, obviously. And then there's one more space. And then I think it's, I can't remember which, I think Finality, Genesis, Psycho Sister. I think each night we'll play a different one of them. So yeah, but it's impossible to pick your favorite. I mean, like I say, we have a different favorite every day. Each member of the band, every time I get a phone call, we've got to put this in. 2 days later, I'm getting a call of somebody else. We've got to put this one in. It's like fucking hell, man. Can't get them all in.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to the tour though. The tour is going to be fun.
And being over there's going to be an Unreal tour as well. And you got Maryland Deathfest. I've seen you've been announced for a few shows over there. Jamie Jaster's putting on that now as well, isn't he? So
yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's proving a pain in the fucking ass at the minute with all the visa shit and the hoops you got to jump through.
America at the moment, it's you may have to just go. It's probably easy to head to Australia at this point if it wasn't for the fucking money it costs to get over here. When was the last time
we've never been to us, have we? We had 2 or 3 tours cancelled, but I can tell you we are actually talking to somebody at the minute to get over next year. But because we've got to tie it in because obviously the money we've got to tie it in with Southeast Asia, and you know we've got to make it so it works for everybody. But that'd be something for me, man. I'm really looking forward to getting down there. I can't believe 36 years and we've never been down there.
I know, dude. I'd be fully chuffed to catch you guys down under. It's been quite a hectic few bloody years, but your music has kind of got me through. And the latest album, Ravage of Empires, it does drop in a few short days. Darren, this has been an absolute pleasure, my friend. Do you have any last words, shout outs, thank yous, or anything like that?
All I would like to say is that I have much appreciation for everyone that's ever bought a t-shirt, bought a CD, listened to the album, turned up for a gig, because without you guys, as much as I don't do this for money and I don't do it to be famous and I don't do it to be a rock star, I do it because I love it. I still can't do it without the people coming to the gig. So it's a much appreciation to you for your help here, and then for the people that turn up to the shows, man. I'm a lucky boy. Thank you very much.
Damn straight. Everyone go out, grab the album, crank it really bloody loud, because the neighbours are going to want to hear it too. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thank you for your support.
Oi, you're tuned in to Dry That Aussie Metal Guy, so make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of his sick content. And remember, stay brutal, you legend.